Well, we've met some legends over our time, but never one as big as this. The legend that is Tommy Cannon.
Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. Yeah. It's nice when you meet somebody who more or less followed our career and stuff like that. It's really nice. Yeah.
It is. And you know what? I have followed you for many, many years. But can I take you right back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Where it all started for you?
Yeah.
How did you get into the comedy acts?
By accident. When I first met Bob, he was the first person to speak to me out of 500 men on the shop floor, and he came and he said, "All right, cock," and I looked down and I went, "Yeah, I'm great, mate." And he walked away, and the exact thing that came to my mind, I have no idea why, he's walking away, and I thought, that's a funny little beggar, and that were it. The rest is history, because he bothered me, mithered me. To be part of a double act, I kept saying, no, I don't want to do that, and everything else, until eventually it just happened, and that was it. And rest, like I said, rest is history. How we got to the top and did the TV, I think back and I think, my God, how lucky were we? But don't get me wrong, we worked hard. We did all the social clubs, got paid off, £3 instead of 6. You'd do a lunchtime and an evening show in a working men's club, and you were on £6, which was £3 each. If we got paid off at lunchtime, which we did more than often than not, we got £3 between us.
Wow.
And that was, and I mean, we had family, and suddenly I said to Bob, "Sorry, Bob, we can't keep doing this, mate." And I think we had 2 or 3 working men's clubs left. And he said, "Well," he said, "I agree." He said, "I'll tell you what we'll do, we will get paid off at one of the working men's clubs, we'll go back to welding." I said, yeah, fair enough. And as it, once again, as luck prevailed, we didn't get paid off, and like I say, I keep saying, the rest is history.
So you've gone back to welding at this point?
No.
Did you go back to the welding?
No,
just kept going on Man's Club.
Yeah,
okay. So when did the first big break come, like for TV and stuff like that? How did that come about?
I suppose I can't really remember when we actually got the break. I do remember meeting a man, well, not actually meeting him, but we went to Scotland and we were supporting a Scottish lad, singer, great singer, but he never came to England, and we were supporting him. And as we walked off in the wings, this guy's leaned against the wall, and as we passed him, he went, "Well done, boys." And oh, thank you, and that were it.
And that was, yeah.
Oh, what, 8-9 years later, we in London signing our first TV contract, and Bob's looking down the corridor and he tapped me shoulder. He said, "Where have we seen him before?" And I looked and I went, "Yeah." I said, "I know." I said, "He was in the wings." I said, "At that concert," I said, "in Glasgow."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, that's right." He walked in, he said, "All right, boys," he said, "Do you remember me?" And Bob said, "Yeah." He said, "You were in the wings, weren't you?" And when we came up, "That's right," he said. "Pleased to meet you. Welcome to ITV. David Bell, head of Light Entertainment." And that were all them years back that we met him.
And that's where you started.
And that's when we started.
So obviously, I think, wasn't it Sid Green that wrote a lot of your stuff?
Sid Green wrote
So
it.
did you ever write anything for the series? Did you improvise and put your own bits in?
No, only bits, not anything serious.
So it was all really scripted?
All scripted with Sid, and then we got a phone call to the studio. Eric Markham had passed away, bless him, and Ernie Wise rang the studio and said, "Could you tell me why you are repeating stuff that me and Eric do?"
Oh, right.
And we didn't realise that that's what were happening. And Sid Green got fired because he was repeating stuff that Eric and Ernie had done.
I see.
So he got fired, and we got a new writer. And it was just good. I mean, I suppose we always had a little bit of an input, because we obviously, if we didn't like something, we would say, because otherwise, and if you feel uncomfortable, you say, no, I'm not comfortable with that, or whatever. Yeah. But ours was not like it is today. I mean, today it's blue, they swear, they do everything,
So when obviously you got the TV series, you've done all this on the stage and stuff. You changed the format, and you was living in this flat, wasn't you?
Yes.
In the late series, why did that idea come about? What was the premise behind changing the format?
It was just something that happened it was just TV people saying we need to change, we need to do something that's a bit different or whatever. And I always remember, it was a strange time, a guy came into the studio one day and said, I want all the northern comedians into this room, I need to have a word with them all. And, we came in, we went in, we said, what's the problem? Yeah. So the problem is, he said, everybody down south can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, really?
He said, you're all fired.
Oh, no.
And we all got sacked. And we were getting 20 million viewers on a Saturday night.
It's a huge loss for them.
Yeah, and every northern comic got fired. Yeah.
Wow.
And then 3 months later, he left with a massive payout and became chairman of a football club.
Ah, well, there you go. Says it all, really.
End of story.
And during, obviously, you making the TV series, you've done The Boys in Blue, the feature film.
Oh, yeah, we love that.
Which is obviously a remake of the Will Hay classic,
That's right.
Policeman, but I absolutely love the film. Yeah. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Was it a good experience?
It was a great experience, yeah. It was one of them, excuse me, it was one of them films that I always remember me and Bob getting the script and reading it like a book from the front to the back. First day of rehearsal, we go in. I said, yeah. He said, come on. Out we go to him. He said, right. He said, page 43, scene 17. And we went, sorry? He said, what do you mean, sorry? He said, I said, we haven't learned it. What do you mean you haven't learned it? I said, we've learned it from the front to the back like it. He said, oh, for God's sake, get into the caravan, he said, and learn it now. So we had like literally an hour to go through it all and then walk out and do it.
Because there was a lot of well-known stars in there as well.
Yeah.
You had Eric Sykes in it, Jack Douglas, Susan Daniel.
Yeah, Eric was
Roy Kinnear.
Eric, there were me, Eric and Bob stood in this car park, massive car park with a double-decker bus parked up. And Eric had to run to catch the bus. So we're in the car park and the director went, action! And Eric didn't do nothing. So I went, Eric, he's just said action. He said, oh, Tom, he said, these hearing aids, he said, and my glasses, he said, they're terrible, you can't hear clear. So Bob said, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. When he shouts action, I'll go like that. He said, and you run then.
Brilliant.
So he said, action. Bob didn't bang his foot down, right? So, and Eric, for some strange reason, thought he had done and ran like mad with all the cameras and the director chasing him, saying, and of course he couldn't stop running because he couldn't hear him.
Brilliant. It's great times. So after the TV series finished on LWT, what did you and Bobby do then? What was your plans?
Well,
what did you have to do?
We didn't have any plans, at all. Bob did quite a bit of TV work. He was good in not going out and stuff like that. And it was strange because I phoned up our manager and I said, can you tell me why that you're letting Bob do all this TV work without me? I said, we're a double act.
Exactly.
And he said, the problem is, he said, Tom, they don't want you. I said, sorry? He said, they don't want you. He was just lying through his bloody teeth,
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, my son looks after me now, so I haven't got no worries about that sort of stuff now, Yeah, but Bob was really good. Wow. He was always going to be funny.
Yes.
Just a matter of time before it all came out,
Well, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You was always the straight man to his thing, but that's the way it always is.
I didn't understand what a straight man were. Somebody said, but you're the straight man. I said, oh, what do you mean I'm like that? And so I don't get it, but because I used to giggle and laugh more than the audience.
Well, I can even sometimes see you in the programme almost not trying to crack a smile.
I know.
And your lips again, you want to play it straight, but it's
Jimmy Tarbuck on a clip, it's not on this clip I've got here today, but he came on and I think he gave a wrong line. He went back out and came back and he come on, he said, you all right then, boys? And for no reason, I don't know why, and I went, yeah, I'm good, Jim, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, said, well, what are you laughing for? I said, I don't know, Jim, I just keep laughing. I can't stop laughing. Whether I was thinking about the line that he cocked up at the beginning, I don't know. And at the end he said, he came right up to me, he said, Tommy, why do you keep laughing? I said, I don't know, Jim, I just keep laughing. He said, oh, really? He said, I thought you had a feather stuck up your ass. Oh
wow.
God. So I enjoyed being on television. I enjoyed the laughs we had and stuff like that. It was brilliant. Yeah.
But then you done like some gospel stuff, didn't you?
Then we did,
so how did that come about?
Yeah, that was it. Just Bob said. Bob became a Christian.
Yeah.
Said he was doing these churches and stuff and going round. So he said, "Why don't you? Do you fancy coming?" And so I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll come with one with you and see what it's like." And I really enjoyed it. So he said, "Right." He said, "What we'll do is we'll do a tour of all the churches. Well, whatever we can, or whoever wants us." And that's what we did.
And then, in a way, the double act was back together.
Yeah, back together again. Yeah.
So obviously, certainly, Bobby passed during COVID, which was
nearly 6 years now. I mean, I think as well that when COVID came, that was the worst thing because he already had COPD.
Yeah.
So now and again in the act, he would wander off a little bit, and I used to go bang and grab him so he could say, "You've got my skin."
Oh yes, that's right. The classic line.
And he was always sort of, if you like, because he wasn't getting enough oxygen to his brain, he was slightly wandering off now and again. And he came into Viva Club in Blackpool with a mask on for the first time. Yeah. And I said to him a bit of fun, I said, "What are you doing? You robbing a bank or what?" He said, "No." I said, "I'm a bit off." And his two sons were working with us on the same show. And twice he asked me where the toilet were. Well, the people had been there 5 or 6 times. I said, "Bob, you know where the toilet is?" He said, "Well, where is it then?" So I told him 3 steps down, it's on the right. And then again he asked me again, because obviously he'd forgotten that he'd asked me the first time. So I said, "Bob, it's 3 times steps there, just turn right." We're coming out after it was all over the show. He'd wandered off a little bit in the show, but not a lot. And we're going down the underground car park, down the steps talking to one, and suddenly I'm talking to nobody, and I look back up the steps, and he's like 5 or 6 steps up, holding his breath, can't get his breath. And I said, "Right, give me the guitar, give me your suit, right, hold on to my arm." I said, goes down, and I waited while he got in his car and waited while he drove off, because I thought if he doesn't drive off, I'm going to have to take him home.
Of course.
Anyway, he drove off, and I thought, oh, thank God, he'd be all right now. Monday came, phone call from one of his sons, my dad's in hospital. Oh, hellfire, what's happened? He said, "No, he's struggling to get his breath." I said, "Oh my God." Goes into hospital. Monday morning, he FaceTimes me. 6 nurses round his bed, and he said, "Tommy, all these nurses want to wave to you." I said, "I thought you were bloody poorly." And he said, "No, I am." He said, "I'll get there." Yeah, he said, "I'll get there." Anyway, Wednesday came, phone call. He took a turn for the worst, and by the weekend he'd gone, passed away. I couldn't go down to see the coffin because of all this. You can't travel, you can't. But when he was being buried at the church, I said, "There's nobody stopping me." I said, "I'm going down there regardless." Yeah. So I went down, and it was a very, very sort of not a happy. Yeah. Everybody was sat separate. It was horrible because of COVID, and I suddenly thought to myself, I don't think I've cried, and he's passed away. What's wrong with me? And I looked like that, and suddenly the coffin's coming down the corridor. Yeah. And that's when I realised he was never coming back, because I always thought he was going to come back. And I broke my heart crying in the church, and that was it.
But then, after COVID, you've now picked yourself up, and now you're doing a one-man show.
Yeah.
So, how are you finding that?
I'm absolutely loving it. The people are really lovely. They listen to the stories, because they're stories that they've never heard. They've never heard them before.
Like some of these ones we've had today.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah, I sing 2 or 3 songs as well.
The classic one, of course.
Yeah, Together We'll Be Okay. Yeah,
which everyone knows.
Yeah, and I sing that one, and sing a couple more. I'm going to do a CD.
Brilliant!
At Easter.
Oh, lovely. I'm
going to do maybe 5 songs on each side of it or something like that. But I want to do a CD. Because somebody said to me, I don't know where I were. I know, I was in, I was doing a town hall somewhere, and I got up at the end and I sang That's Life.
Yeah.
And people stood up after I'd sung it, and my son, who was my manager now, said, "See, Dad, you should do a CD. Everybody loves you singing." So I said, "Oh, that's a good idea." So
especially if you had in a few
exactly.
along the way.
Well, me and Bob did 2 or 3 albums, you know, when we were together.
I've seen the records out about, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
So people can still see you, still laugh with you,
still doing
and
it.
you're still out on the street. And it's great to have you still around doing this, because you know we need a legend like you around.
We need memories. We need to be happy, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I grew up with you as a kid, and I was always watching you as a kid. I remember you know, so you are technically one of my heroes.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
But it's lovely to meet you again, and thank you very much for everything.
You're welcome. Thanks.
And rock on.
Yeah, rock on. Lovely.